Every meal you eat after 60 matters more than you think. Not just for energy, but for your memory, your mobility, even your independence. Today, I'll show you the common reheating habits that could be quietly harming your body, and the smarter food choices that can restore your strength one simple bite at a time. Let's begin. You might be surprised to learn this. Reheating the wrong foods could quietly harm your health, especially as you age. It doesn't always show up right away, but over time, it can weaken your digestion, fuel inflammation, and even affect your memory and balance. Studies, including those from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, reveal how certain leftovers, when reheated, can lose their value, or worse, quietly become harmful. What seems like a harmless habit, just warming up last night's dinner, might actually stress your heart, disrupt your blood sugar, or aggravate joint pain. And for adults over 65, those systems are your foundation. In today's video, I'll walk you through 3 foods you should never reheat, and 3 foods that become even healthier when warmed the right way. And stay with me, because at the end, I'll reveal one common everyday food that seems safe, but may be slowly damaging your body, bite by bite. But first, let's begin with the foods that should be reheated. Done properly, they can enhance your energy, sharpen your memory, and support your mobility every single day. And before we dive in, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and tapping that bell icon. We make these videos just for you, and if you find value today, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 -- so we can do better for you. 1. Oatmeal. A warm embrace for this mind and gut. As a physician, I often say, how you start your morning matters. And for seniors, those first quiet hours hold gentle power, a chance to begin again with care. Few foods capture that better than a bowl of warm oatmeal. But here's what many don't know. Reheating oatmeal doesn't take away from it. It may enhance its benefits, especially for aging bodies. Here's how. When you cook oats, let them cool, and then reheat. They develop something called resistant starch. This special starch feeds the good bacteria in your gut, helping improve digestion, stabilize blood sugar, and calm inflammation. As we get older, digestion slows and blood sugar becomes harder to manage. Reheated oatmeal becomes a gentle, steady source of energy, keeping your body fueled and your mind clearer for longer. But the magic doesn't stop there. Oatmeal contains beta-glucan, a fiber shown to reduce LDL cholesterol, support heart health, and lower cardiovascular risk. For seniors, especially those with heart history, that daily bowl becomes more than a meal. It becomes quiet prevention. Add a few walnuts, a sprinkle of cinnamon, or a handful of blueberries. And you're not just adding flavor. You're layering in antioxidants that protect your cells and brain from aging. And there's something else. The comfort of warm oatmeal is more than physical. It's emotional. It's familiar. It's grounding. It's easy to digest, even on your lowest energy mornings. It's not just food, it's self-respect. A small act of care that sets the tone for the rest of your day. But while oatmeal gives your body strength from the inside out, not all reheated foods do the same. In fact, some can quietly undo your efforts, aggravating joints, nerves, or your gut. So what's the next best food to reheat? One that restores bones, supports your immune system, and brings warmth to both body and soul? You might already have it waiting in your fridge. If you're still with me, thank you. Type 1 in the comments so I know this is helping. Now, let's talk about number 2. 2. Vegetable soup. A gentle medicine for joints, immunity, and the soul. In the soft light of afternoon, when energy dips and the years seem heavier, there's something deeply healing about a warm bowl of vegetable soup. It's not just comfort food, it's ancestral wisdom in liquid form. And for seniors, navigating the complexity of aging bodies, this humble dish becomes a quiet form of therapy. For the aging body, reheating a bowl of vegetable soup isn't just convenient, it's restorative. Over time, the nutrients within those vegetables deepen in richness. While many processed meals deteriorate when reheated, a homemade vegetable soup, lovingly prepared, becomes more nutritious the next day. Why? Because when hearty vegetables like carrots, celery, onions, leafy greens, and sweet potatoes are gently simmered and then allowed to rest, something remarkable happens. Their cell walls soften, releasing minerals and healing plant compounds that weren't fully accessible the first time around. When you reheat it, that broth becomes a powerful tonic, concentrated in antioxidants, phytonutrients, and hydrating fluids. And for seniors, that trio is vital. As our immune system naturally declines with age, we become more vulnerable to inflammation, to respiratory challenges, to stiff joints. But a properly reheated vegetable soup, especially one enhanced with garlic, turmeric, or parsley, acts like a gentle remedy. It stimulates blood flow, warms the extremities, and starts soothing the body from the inside out. For those with low appetite, a common concern in older adults, soup offers something approachable. It doesn't overwhelm the senses. It's gentle, warm, easily digested, and filled with purpose. It helps maintain strength, hydration, and nutrition on days when even the thought of eating feels like too much. But beyond the physical, let's talk about emotional nourishment. A bowl of soup, reheated with care, brings something deeper. It holds memories of family kitchens, of loved ones gathered, of times when food was more than fuel. In each spoonful is a sense of comfort, of home, a way to pause, to reconnect with oneself, and to offer the body something safe, familiar, and kind. And for those managing high blood pressure, arthritis, or digestive issues, vegetable soup becomes a vehicle for healing herbs, for minerals, for balance. A form of nourishment that aligns with what your body truly needs now. Gentle, warm, forgiving. But what if I told you that even the grain you might serve next to that soup, the humble scoop of rice, could quietly strengthen your bones and stabilize your heart, especially when it's warmed the right way? The next food on our list is often overlooked, but when handled properly, it could become your greatest ally in the journey of aging well. Number 3. Brown rice, a quiet foundation for strength, heart health, and longevity. There's wisdom in simplicity, and among the world's simplest foods, brown rice often sits silently beside flashier dishes, unassuming yet powerful. But for seniors, this whole grain is a gift. It brings structure to your meals, stability to your energy, and a slow-burning strength that supports every step, every heartbeat, every moment of independence. Unlike white rice, brown rice keeps its bran and germ layers, natural sources of fiber, B vitamins, magnesium, and selenium. Nutrients that are especially critical for aging bodies. When cooked, cooled, and reheated gently, perhaps with a splash of water or lightly steamed, brown rice forms resistant starch, just like oatmeal. These complex carbs then digest slowly, supporting stable blood sugar, improving insulin sensitivity, and avoiding those energy crashes that steal your joy. For seniors living with type 2 diabetes, heart conditions, or sluggish digestion, that gentle release of energy is a lifeline. But it doesn't stop there. Reheated brown rice also feeds your gut's good bacteria, supporting immunity, reducing inflammation, and even helping regulate mood. Its high magnesium content? That's a bonus, especially since magnesium is often depleted in older adults, yet is essential for relaxing muscles, regulating blood pressure, supporting nerve function, and yes, preventing leg cramps at night. So each time you reheat brown rice, think of it not just as a side dish, but as a silent guardian of your energy, your sleep, and your strength. A warm bowl of rice can do more than fill your stomach. It can soothe, stabilize, and fortify an aging body from the inside out. But beyond the physical, rice touches something deeper. It speaks to memory, of family meals, the comfort of a kitchen, the smell of something familiar on a rainy day. Reheating brown rice isn't just about saving time. It's a quiet ritual, a whisper to your body that says, "You're still strong, you're still healing, you're still cared for. And best of all, brown rice is senior friendly. Combine it with soft vegetables, lentils, or a drizzle of olive oil, and you have a nutrient-dense meal that's easy to chew, easy to digest, and deeply satisfying. For those who find cooking complicated, brown rice becomes a reliable staple, a foundation, both literal and symbolic, of healthy aging. But not every food offers this kind of dependable support. In fact, some meals, when reheated, quietly turn against the very organs they once nourished. What if the next plate you microwave is silently working against your heart, your nervous system, and even your memory? What I'm about to share might completely change the way you view leftovers. Let's begin with the first food seniors should never reheat. 1. Cooked mushrooms. The hidden danger beneath the surface. Mushrooms are earthy, wholesome. They feel like a connection to nature, low in fat, high in antioxidants, gentle on the stomach, when fresh. But here's what many people don't know. Once cooked and then reheated, mushrooms can quietly become risky for aging bodies. Why? Because mushrooms are rich in proteins and amino acids. Beneficial, yes, but also delicate. On first cooking, those proteins change shape to aid digestion. But when you cool and reheat them, those proteins denature again, creating new compounds that the body may struggle to break down, especially as our enzymes weaken with age. For younger adults, this might pass unnoticed, but for seniors, the consequences can be real. Gas and bloating, stomach discomfort, even nausea. The more dangerous part? When mushrooms are cooked, especially sautéed in butter or oil, and then left out too long or stored improperly, bacteria like Clostridium botulinum or Listeria can silently multiply. These bacteria don't always announce themselves with dramatic symptoms, but they can disrupt the digestive system, and in sensitive individuals, even impact the nervous system. And while you might not feel the effects right away, over time, your energy dips, your gut struggles, your immune response weakens when you need it most. What's more, mushrooms lose most of their nutritional power when reheated. The antioxidants, your body's natural defense against age-related inflammation, break down. What's left? A food that tastes familiar, but no longer protects or nourishes. Reheating mushrooms may seem like a small, harmless habit, but if you're committed to preserving your mobility, your memory, and your independence, it's a habit worth leaving behind. Let mushrooms be what they were meant to be, a fresh gift from the earth, enjoyed at their peak. Not a microwaved afterthought that lingers too long on the stovetop, but what about another vegetable? One that's colorful, crisp, and seen as completely harmless? What if this innocent kitchen favorite is secretly stirring up inflammation in your joints, weakening your steps, without you realizing? If you're finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here and engaged. Now, let's move to our second food you shouldn't reheat. 2. Eggs. The silent shift from nourishment to harm. Eggs have long been celebrated as one of nature's most complete foods. Simple, versatile, deeply nourishing. Eggs are a symbol of life itself. For older adults, they offer rich protein, choline for the brain, and vitamin D for strong bones. But here's the lesser-known truth. When eggs are reheated, especially after being stored overnight, they change, and not in ways that favor a maturing body. On first cooking, eggs are safe, soft, and digestible. But once cooled and then reheated, particularly in a microwave or hot skillet, the proteins inside begin to harden and restructure. That makes them more difficult to digest, especially for older adults with sensitive stomachs. The result? Bloating, indigestion, discomfort, and not just physical. That heavy feeling can ripple through your energy, your focus, your mood. Even more concerning is what happens at the molecular level. Reheated eggs, especially if they were scrambled or fried in oil or butter, can undergo oxidation. Fats and cholesterol become unstable, producing compounds that quietly stoke inflammation and damage arterial walls. these aren't just abstract risks. For seniors already managing high blood pressure or elevated cholesterol, these tiny chemical shifts matter. The cost? It's not dramatic, it's cumulative. Maybe it's a bit more sluggishness, a foggy head, a body that doesn't quite recover the way it used to. Over time, these meals chip away at vitality. What was meant to protect your heart and brain may slowly do the opposite. So here's my advice. Enjoy your eggs fresh, boiled or poached. Cook gently and eaten right away. They're a gift. But don't save yesterday's eggs for today's breakfast, because what seems like a small convenience might be undermining your long-term health, one bite at a time. Still, eggs aren't the only comfort food with hidden consequences. There's one more, and it may be the most beloved dish in American kitchens. Soft, warm, familiar. It feels like a hug from the past, but behind that golden creamy surface is a metabolic trap, one that can quietly weaken your heart, slow your steps, and cloud your thinking. 3. White potatoes. The comfort that quietly betrays. For many seniors, white potatoes are wrapped in nostalgia. Sunday dinners, family gatherings, holiday feasts, mashed potatoes served with love. But when it comes to your heart, your balance, and your circulation, reheated white potatoes can do more harm than good. Here's why. Freshly cooked white potatoes are already high on the glycemic index. That means they convert into sugar quickly, spiking blood sugar and insulin levels. But once they're cooled and then reheated, especially in cream, butter, or oil, their starches change structure in a way that becomes even more problematic. In the aging body, this quiet transformation becomes dangerous. Reheating white potatoes doesn't just spike blood sugar, it can worsen insulin resistance and ignite low-grade inflammation that slowly damages blood vessels, nerves, and even the brain. And here's the real issue. As we age, our ability to stabilize blood sugar declines. Reheated potatoes can cause afternoon crashes, numbness in the legs, and contribute to long-term conditions that steal your strength before you even notice. And it doesn't stop with the potato itself. Many seniors reheat meals in plastic containers, unaware that high heat can release chemicals like BPA, a compound known to disrupt hormones and strain heart health. What you thought was just a leftover may be quietly working against you. The symptoms are subtle. That afternoon tiredness, that could be your lunch talking. The stiffness in your knees, the tingling in your feet. It's easy to blame age, but sometimes the true culprit is right on the plate. Over time, these small daily choices stack up. The outcome: poor circulation, rising blood pressure, reduced coordination, and a slower recovery after injury or illness. And perhaps the most disheartening truth of all, white potatoes offer little in return. Unlike sweet potatoes or colorful root vegetables, they lack antioxidants. They fill the belly but fail to fortify the body. They satisfy the tongue, but quietly strain the systems that seniors must now protect. Comfort and tradition are meaningful, but in this stage of life, we must learn to separate emotional comfort from nutritional safety. Let white potatoes be part of a cherished memory, not your current path to healing. And so, as we reflect on these subtle dangers hiding in our leftovers, a larger truth emerges. Not everything in the fridge deserves a second chance. But the answer is not fear, it's awareness. Because every meal is a decision, an act of self-respect. Aging well doesn't require grand gestures. It begins with small daily choices. How we reheat food, how we support our digestion, how we protect the strength of our heart, brain, and muscles, one meal at a time. When you reheat the right foods, like warm oatmeal, nourishing soup, or brown rice, you're not just feeding your body, you're sending a message. I still care. I still choose vitality. I still choose life. But when you let go of habits that no longer serve you, like reheating eggs, mushrooms, or white potatoes, you free yourself from fatigue, from inflammation, from health setbacks that never had to happen in the first place. Yes, convenience has a cost, but awareness brings something greater, sharper thinking, steadier movement, better sleep, and the quiet joy of feeling in control, regardless of age. So the next time you open your fridge, pause. Not everything deserves to be reheated. Choose what nourishes. Reheat with intention. Honor this chapter of life, not with impulse, but with wisdom, because every warm meal isn't just comfort. It's a choice to protect your future. One bite at a time. These lessons are here not to scare, but to empower you. I'd love to hear from you. What was one thing you learned today that you'll apply in your life? Leave a 1 in the comments if this video helped you, a 0 if it didn't. I value your honesty. And if you want more health guidance designed for seniors who want to live fully, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. And here's to living life on your own terms, with clarity, with dignity, and with strength.